Hello. Welcome to the fourth lesson of Unit 5. Here, I will teach you my process for converting a static image into a moving one. Our ally in this process is Photoshop, where we will create a layer system, separating all the elements of the image that we want to edit. Our main tools are those designed for object selection. In this first part, I start by using the magic wand to select large areas of uniform colors. I begin by selecting the sky as it will be the layer furthest back in our animation. After using the magic wand, I refine the selection with the lasso tool, allowing for more precise selections, correcting areas where there is less selected, or where parts of elements might have been unintentionally included. It's a highly manual process that may take several minutes, but the more precise our selections, the better the visual result of our animations. As you can see, I use the freeform lasso, which allows me to make freer strokes, as if I were drawing. After completing the selection, I must be on the original layer and press Ctrl J to duplicate my selection to another layer. I repeat this command each time I finish a selection. After finishing with the sky, I move on to select elements that will possibly be above all, those near the foreground of the image, in this case, the rocks and the lake. Here, I use a tool into the magic wand menu called Object Selection Tool, which can speed up the selection process in some moments, refining it later with the lasso tool. Next, I continue selecting the lake, making fairly large selection strokes. After having most of the area selected, I proceed to adjust the selection, removing unnecessary parts and adding those that are needed. I will follow this same process with the rest of the elements, such as waterfalls, parts of trees, and the separation of the castle itself. Later, I will add video layers to give volume and life to the image. Having finished each of the selections, we proceed to correct those aspects of the image that we do not want to see. In this case, I use the spot healing brush tool, which, when drawn over a specific area of the image, erases that section, creating a replacement from the surrounding pixels. Here, I see some loose pixels that remained after cropping each section. To erase them correctly, I will create a solid color layer and give it a reddish tone that contrasts with the blue edges we are going to erase. I place the layer at the end of all layers to not miss any details. I delete each of the excess details within their respective mask, using the brush tool along with black color. From here, I will expand the sky part since having both areas separated will cause problems for animating them later. Therefore, I click on the sky layer, then create a rectangular selection, subtract exactly the sky information, go to the select menu at the top, go to the modify submenu, and click expand, which will take part of the sky information again. In this case, an expansion of 20 pixels is sufficient. We correct the areas that appear excluded from the selection by adding them again using the lasso tool. Right-click and select Fill. Wait for it to load, and then proceed to correct those undesired elements for our animation. So, again, I will use Spot Healing Brush to correct those details. When finished, I continue reviewing those areas that also need to be corrected. Save, and for this, I recommend creating a new document. In my case, I need a mask from an earlier version. To recover it, I open the previous document, right-click on the layer I need to duplicate, go to Duplicate Layer, and select the most recent document as the destination. Then, I organize the layers into folders. Next, I continue selecting the trees in the foreground, for which we can use the magic wand tool and correct the selection using the lasso tool. Then, we continue with the parts of the background trees that will also be animated, alternating the process between the lasso tool and the magic wand tool. Later, we will create a layer where we duplicate part of the background vegetation using the clone stamp tool. We will select the cloning area by holding Alt and left clicking, then clicking normally in the area we want to clone, starting the cloning process. complement our cloned part, we select the area and perform a similar process to what we did with the sky. Only this time, we go to Edit, Content Aware Fill. In this particular case, we erase the green area not related to that part of the image we want to clone quickly, which, in this case, is the mountain. On the right side, we can see how the cloning is done by changing certain parameters, and we select the one we consider best. Correct certain areas with the spot healing brush. Select part of the lake and separate the rocks from the selection. Then remove the area from our general background, which, in this case, is layer 9. Correct part of our selection to avoid problems later. Create masks for the elements near the waterfall so that when animating, it appears that they are above as an independent object from the water animation. Review our selections and organize each of the layers to have an order when animating in After Effects. See you in the next lesson.